Good afternoon. I'm going to teach you the sword exercise for light dragoons. We'll start by placing the bridle hand in the proper situation on the body. Grab the bridle, put it close to the belly, the hand wrapped around to the left side as can be allowed without constraint. Next, we will show you how to draw swords. To draw swords, take the right hand, grab the grip, bring the blade, draw the sword with the hand out as far as can be allowed without constraint, flip the blade up and sink the hilt below the chin, then sink the hand down to the right side of the body to a position known as carry. I will show you from your perspective. Take the right hand, grab the sword, draw it all the way as can be allowed without constraint, flip it up, sink it so the hilt is below the chin, and bring the hand down to the carry. The carry. The blade is perpendicular to the ground, and the sword, the hand is parallel. This is the position known as carry. The next position is called slope. Simply drop the blade on the shoulder so the outward barrel touches the shoulder. Once again. Slope. This position you may use to keep the sword in the position on the shoulder so as not to be allowed to hurt you or the animal while you are mounted. This is the position in which you will start and finish all the sword drill. The next drill, the next maneuver is called the guard. To prepare to guard. In prepare to guard, the sword is erected and brought so the hilt is above the bridle arm. This preempts and finishes the first and last movements of all the drills. Prepare to guard. The next maneuver is called guard. For guard, the hand is thrust out in front of the body so the blade severs the eyes of the enemy and the knuckles guard the right shoulder. Prepare to guard, guard. Once again, prepare to guard, guard. Prepare to guard, slope, swords. The next maneuver is called the assault. The assault is merely directional and is to pointing the enemy. It is used in the charge. The assault. Carry, prepare to guard, guard, assault. Prepare to guard, guard, assault. Prepare to guard. Slope, swords. The next maneuver is called to protect. Protecting the body on the left and the right is done with the outward barrel of the sword. The left protect. Prepare to guard. Guard. Left protect. Right protect. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope, swords. Let us discuss the parts of the sword. This is called the stirrup iron. This is called the foot of the stirrup iron. This is called the side iron. This portion of the grip is called the back plate. This is the head of the back plate. This is the grip. This is the cutting edge, and this is the outward barrel. In gripping the sword for the point, the thumb is resting on the grip, the forefinger on the back plate, and the last three fingers are curled so that the head of the back plate are in the palm. I will demonstrate. The prepare to guard preempts the pointing. From prepare to guard to point, bring the hilt of the sword to your right ear. Point the blade in the direction in which you wish to point and thrust. Once again, to point the sword, go from prepare to guard Grip for the position of point. Bring the hilt to the right ear. Thrust. To review. Prepare to guard. Guard. Assault. Left protect. Right protect. Outward barrel, always protecting. Prepare to guard. Front, give point. Prepare to guard. Slope swords. That is the first division of the sword exercise. The second division of sword exercise. We will begin with the prepare to guard. The guard. Now, a protect of the bridle arm. The command is bridle arm, protect. The hand is pivoted out completely to the right. The sword is erected, and the sword is swung over the head to protect the bridle arm. Bridle arm, protect. Once again. Prepare to guard, guard. Bridle arm, protect. The next maneuver is sword arm, protect. Sword arm, protect is swinging the hand from the bridle arm to the sword arm. Prepare to guard, guard. Bridle arm, protect. Sword arm, protect. Once again, for your better edification. Prepare to guard. Guard. Bridle arm, protect. Sword arm, protect. Once again. Prepare to guard. Guard. Bridle arm, protect. Sword arm, protect. Prepare to guard. Now we will discuss the head protect, or St. George. The St. George, the blade is angled upwards to protect against downward thrusts or cuts. The St. George, prepare to guard, guard, St. George. Once again, prepare to guard, guard, St. George. We'll now discuss the back cut. The back cut is executed from the St. George. The body must be pivoted around to allow the cut to be completed. Prepare to guard, guard, St. George, back cut. Pivot the body around, bring the blade down, in a straight line with the body. For the second maneuver, bring your knuckles down to the ground by turning your wrist 180 degrees. Bring the blade back in a level cut over the shoulder. Go to prepare to guard. The prepare to guard should be the last maneuver of every cut. Once again, the back cut. Prepare to guard. Guard. St. George. Back cut. 1. Rotate. 2. Prepare to guard. The second division, the sword exercise. Slope swords. Begin. Prepare to guard. Guard. Bridle arm, protect. Sword arm, protect. St. George. Back cut. Guard. Prepare to guard. Slope swords. Once again, the complete second division. Prepare to guard. Guard. Add the assault. Guard. Bridle arm protect. sword arm protect, St. George, back cut, prepare to guard, guard, slope swords. Prepare to guard, guard, assault, guard, bridle arm protect, sword arm protect, St. George, back cut, prepare to guard, guard, slope swords. Cut one. The hand is extended. The fingers, the last three fingers of the hand, the last two fingers of the hand extended, the thumb and the forefinger touching. The blade is swiveled so it balances on the wrist. It passes through an arc from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and the hand is turned. Once again, cut one. Bent to gather sweep, sweeps across the target and turns up. Cut two. Cut two starts in the opposite quadrant. From 11 o'clock down to 5 o'clock and turns up. Once again, cut two. From 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock and turns up. Cut three. Cut three is from 5 o'clock back up to 11 o'clock. The hand is bent, thumb and forefinger joined. The blade is pivoted, and it is not turned. Cut three, once again, cut three. Cut four, the opposite quadrant. From 7 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Cut four. Cut four. Cut five. From 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Cut five. From 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Cut six. Knuckles up. From 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Cut six. From 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. All cuts are made with the hand extended. Once again, cut one, cut two, cut three, cut four, cut five, cut six. Once again, cut one, cut two, cut two, cut three, cut three, cut four, cut four, cut five, cut five, cut six, cut six. Words of definition. The bridle hand is your left hand. The sword arm or sword hand is your right hand. The horse's near side is the horse's bridle side. Your bridle hand is the left hand. The horse's near side is the horse's left side. The horse's offside is your sword hand or your sword arm. It is the horse's right side. In the definitions to follow, these terms will be interchangeable. We'll now discuss the third division. The third division has all of the first plus guards. Horse near side, prepare to guard, guard, horse near side protect. Angle the hilt over the horse's ears, bring the blade up to protect the horse's near side. Horse near side protect. Horse offside protect. Swing the blade over the horse, bring it over to his offside or your right. Bring the blade so the outward barrel protects the horse's offside. Near side protect, offside protect. Third division. Prepare to guard. Guard. Assault. guard. Horse, near side protect. Horse, offside protect. Cuts, 1, 2, 1. Prepare to guard. Left protect. Right protect. Prepare to guard. Front, give point. Cut 1. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. For your further edification, 3rd Division. Prepare to guard. Guard. Assault. Guard. Horse. Near side protect. Horse. Offside protect. Cuts. 1, 2, 1. Left protect. Right protect. Prepare to guard. Front. Give point. Cut 1. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. 3rd Division is designed to practice defense and attack of infantry. The 1st guard in the 4th Division is called the parry. Parrying against infantry changes the application of the cuts and the parries. Demonstration. The 1st guard is on your right to the front parry. This is done from the guard. Prepare to guard, guard. And on your right to the front parry. Bring the hand all the way over to the right. Transition down as far back as you can. Bring the outward barrel of the blade back, parrying bayonets up, and bring the blade over your left shoulder. Once again, from the guard, bring the sword over the bayonets, back as far as you can, make it move without constraint. Parry the bayonets back with the outward barrel of the blade till the outward barrel is back on your left shoulder. The next maneuver is cut 2 against infantry. Simply bring the blade back down, across, cutting the infantry. Once again, prepare to guard, guard, on your right to the front parry, cut 2 against infantry. Transition to the St. George and continue with cut 1 against infantry. Bringing the blade down, cut 1 to the infantry, bring the blade back to prepare to guard. The first part of the 4th Division. Prepare to guard, guard on your right to the front parry, cut 2, St. George, cut 1, prepare to guard. The next maneuver is giving point against infantry. Against infantry is similar to against cavalry in the pointing of the hand, but it is the direction of the blade. It is downward. Prepare to guard. Right against infantry, give point. Bring the hilt up to the ear, the right ear. Look down at the enemy. Thrust and give point. Prepare to guard. Once again. Right, give point. 4th Division against infantry. Bring the hilt up to the right ear and thrust. Always making sure that the blade is in the direction above your visor. Left give point is similarly executed. Left give point against infantry. Once again, left give point against infantry. Next we will discuss cut 3 against infantry. Cut 3 against infantry. The hand is transitioned from the St. George, back, cut 3, sweep up. Once again, cut 3, sweep up. Cut 4. St. George, cut 4. Cut 4. The 4th Division. Prepare to guard. Guard. On your right, to the front, parry. Cut 2. Cut 1. Right, give point. Left, give point. Cut 3. Parry back, the bayonets. Sweep up. Cut 4. Continue. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. Once again, the 4th Division. Prepare to guard. Guard. On your right, to the front, parry. Cut 2. Cut 1. Prepare to guard. Right, give point. Prepare to guard. Left, give point. Parry back. Parry back. Cut 3. Cut 4. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. For your edification. 4th Division. Prepare to guard. Guard. On your right, the front, parry. Cut 2. Cut 1. Prepare to guard. Right, give point. Prepare to guard. Left, give point. Cut 3. Parry back. Cut 3. Cut 4. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. The 5th Division is designed to practice the defense against 2 riders mounted, attacking on your near side and your off side. Prepare to guard. Guard. Right. Cut as you will. Left. Cut 1, 2. Prepare to guard. Right. Cut 1, 2. Prepare to guard. Left. Give point. Prepare to guard. Right. Give point. Cut 5. Sweep across the horse's head. Attack the man on the off side, on the near side. Cut 6. Sweep across the horse's head and attack the man on the off side. Once again, the 5th Division. Prepare to guard. Guard. Left. Cuts 1 and 2. Prepare to guard. Right. Cut 1 and 2. Prepare to guard. Left. Give point. Prepare to guard. Right. Give point. Cut 5. Horse. Near side. Cut 6. Horse. Off side. Prepare to guard. Front. Give point. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. 5th Division. Prepare to guard. Guard. Left. Cut 1, 2. Prepare to guard. Right. Cut 1, 2. Prepare to guard. Left. Give point. Prepare to guard. Right. Give point. Cut 5. Horse. Near side. Cut 6. Horse. Off side. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. For your edification. The 5th Division. Prepare to guard. Guard. Left. Cut 1, 2. Right. Cut 1, 2. Left. Give point. Prepare to guard. Right. Give point. Cut 5. Horse. Near side. Cut 6. Horse. Off side. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. 6th Division. Attacking. A rider on your horse's off side. Defending on your horse's near side. Prepare to guard. Guard. Right. Give point. Cut 1, 2. Come to the prepare to guard. Left. Parry. Bring the blade outward so the barrel is outward to the back. Parry the enemy's blade by moulinet. Again, left parry. Left protect, right protect, prepare to guard, front, give point, prepare to guard, guard, slope swords. Once again, the moulinet defense on a parry. When you prepare to guard, bring the blade so the outward barrel is to the back, take the cut in 5 or 6, parry the blade around, and bring it back up. So you may left protect and right protect. Once again, the 6th Division. Prepare to guard. Guard. Right, give point. Swivel in the saddle, give point. Cut 1, 2. Come to the prepare to guard. Left parry. Left protect. Right protect. Prepare to guard. Front, give point. Prepare to guard. Guard. For a better view. Prepare to guard. Guard. Right, give point. Cut 1, 2. Left parry. Left protect. Right protect. Prepare to guard. Front, give point. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. All 6 divisions in order. Prepare to guard. Guard. Assault. Left protect. Right protect. Prepare to guard. Front, give point. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. 2nd Division. Prepare to guard. Guard. On your bridle arm, protect. Sword arm, protect. St. George. Rear cut. Front, give point. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. 3rd Division. Prepare to guard. Guard. Assault. Guard. Horse, near side protect. Horse, offside protect. Cuts, 1, 2, 1. Left protect. Right protect. Prepare to guard. Front, give point. Cut 1. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. 4th Division. Against infantry. Prepare to guard. Guard. On your right to the front, parry. Cut 2. Cut 1. Right, give point. Prepare to guard. Left, give point. Cut 3. Cut 4. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. 5th Division. Defense against 2 riders. Horse near side, horse offside. Prepare to guard. Guard. Left. Cut 1, 2. Right. Cut 1, 2. Left. Give point. Prepare to guard. Right. Give point. Cut 5. Horse near side. Cut 6. Horse offside. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. 6th Division. Prepare to guard. Guard. Right. Give point. Cut 1, 2. Left parry. Left protect. Right protect. Prepare to guard. Front, give point. Prepare to guard. Guard. Slope swords. Return your swords is done in the following manner. Erect the sword to the carry. Bring the sword hilt to the hollow of the left shoulder. Using the shoulder as a guide, follow the blade around and point the sword into the scabbard, thrusting it down to as far as the elbow. Look up for a word or nod command from your officer or non-commissioned officer, thrust it home, and bring the hand down to the right side. Once again, erect the sword from the slope to the carry. Bring the sword over to the left hollow of the left shoulder. Use the shoulder as a guide. Find the point of the sword into the scabbard and thrust it down to as far as the elbow of your bridle hand. Look for a word of nod or command from your officer or non-commissioned officer. Thrust it home. Bring your hand smartly to the right side. Next command is bridle arm down. You are off parade. Thank you very much for the time and your attention. When you fall in on parade, any parade, with assembly or to arms, you will fall into the position of a soldier under arms. That is, to stand straight and firm upon his legs, head turned to the right, heels close, the toes a little turned out, the belly drawn in a little but without constraint, the chest a little projected, the right hand hanging straight down the side, the palm close to the thigh, the left elbow not to be turned out of the body. The musket shall be carried on the left shoulder, as low down as can be allowed without constraint. The last three fingers on the butt, the thumb and forefinger before the swell. The flat of the butt, supported by the left hip and to be pressed, to be felt on the left side. And it shall stand before the hollow of the shoulder, neither leaning toward the head nor from it, the barrel almost perpendicular. The next position we will discuss is trail your arms. Trail your is the position, or is the command of preparation. Arms is the command of execution. Upon trail your arms, command of execution, the right hand springs up and grabs the musket at the swell. The second movement, the musket is carried off the shoulder and carried down to about a 45-degree angle on the right side. In this position, you may be asked to travel anywhere. March, slow march, march, march. But the musket is hanging on your right hand and will be safe. To put it back on your shoulder, the command is shoulder your arms or firelocks. The right hand springs up, places the musket back in the shoulder. The last three fingers on the butt of the left hand, the thumb and forefinger before the swell, and the hand springs down. The count goes like this. Trail your arms. Shoulder your arms. The next position we will discuss is prime and load. Prime and load, the first position, the musket is rotated and the hand grabs the small. At this point, the hand continues to raise, the right hand continues to raise the musket so that the lock is almost over the shoulder. The left hand then grabs the over the feather spring. Once again, it is done in one motion. Prime and load. It is done in one motion. Prime and load. The next motion of prime and load is to bring the musket down to the priming position. This is merely dropping the musket. The lock is on the hip and the barrel is across the body and angled. Once again, from the recover, which is the position, first position of prime and load, the musket is carried down onto the hip, the barrel angled up and off to the left. The last count is to take the right hand, open the pan, open your belly box, grab a cartridge, let your belly box close, tear off the end of the cartridge, put some priming powder in the pan, and shut the pan. Once again, from shoulder, prime and load. The next position is by order of an officer or non-commissioned officer. The word is about or bout. That is the command of execution and the command of preparation in one word. At which time you will not let go of the musket from your left hand. You will cast it about, drop powder down the barrel, discard the cartridge, and bring the musket back to the recover. Once again, after you've closed the pan, you've got the cartridge in your hand, the command is bout. Cast the musket about in your left hand, drop the powder down the barrel, and bring the musket back up to recover. The full exercise goes like this. Prime man, load. Boat. From this position, you are ready to do fire. Now we are ready to give fire. The command is make ready, at which time the right hand comes up, the elbow straight, the thumb over the cock, you cock the weapon. The second command is present. At present, the right foot steps back a little bit behind the right heel, the left heel, and the musket is presented against enemy. Angled, up, dressed to the right. Fire. Pull off the round, and immediately bring the weapon back to the second position of prime and load. Half cock the firelock. Put the hand on the small. Wait for the command, prime man, load. At which time, grab your box, grab a cartridge, tear it off, prime, and snap the hammer back. Bout. You're ready to fire again. Make ready. Present. Fire. Prime and load. Boat. To go from recover to shoulder, merely using the right hand, gripping the small, rotate the musket and bring your left hand back down to the butt. Commands is shoulder yaw, the preparatory. Arms. Arms, you drop the left hand down, seat the musket in the left hand, and bring your right hand over. Once again, from recover, shoulder yaw, arms. 2 counts. Once again, shoulder yaw, arms. 1, 2. Now, we will do facings. Facings are very important on the field and on the parade ground. They allow a company to move in a direction which is not normal to the current situation. To do a right face, you take the right foot, place it a hand's breadth behind the left heel, about where the right instep is. The preparatory command is to the right. Command of execution is face. The foot is placed. You lean back on your heels. You do not move your left foot. You rotate, and your heels should be together. It takes practice to adjust your foot to be in the right place. Once again, to the right, face. To the right, face. To the right, face. To the right, face. Now, we will adjust our feet to make sure that we are on parade and dressed. Now, to the left face. Again, the left foot does not move. The right foot does the positioning. And moving to the left, the right foot is placed so the right heel is just a little above the instep of the left foot. So placed that when he rotates on the heels, the heels will be together. The command of preparation is to the left. Command of execution is face. To the left. Face. Place. Turn. To the left. Face. Step. Turn. To the left. Face. Step. Turn. To the left. Face. Step. Turn. To do an about. The same as to the left or to the right, but accentuating the movement. To do a left about face, you place the right foot in front of the left instep, but a little bit farther out than you normally would for a regular left face. Lean back on your heels, pivot, and the second movement is bringing your right foot back to your left. One more time. Place your right foot a little farther than you would do with the normal left face. Pivot on your heels and bring your right foot back to your left. To the left, about, face. To the left, about, face. To the right about is done just the same, but with the right foot moving to the rear of the left foot. Again, a little farther than a normal right face. To the right about, face. Place the foot, lean back on the heels, rotate, bring the right foot back to the left. The right about, face. Place the foot, lean back on the heels, rotate, and bring the right back to the left. Command is executed in this fashion. To the right about, face. To the right about, face. At times of indecision, the troops may be left to linger in a position that is not necessarily comfortable. Shoulder is a comfortable maneuver on parade, but left for a long time, it is not necessarily comfortable to the soldier bearing the arm. The command to relieve this is called support your arms. Support your is the command of preparation, arms the command of execution. On the command of execution, the right hand brings up and grabs the small. The left hand relieves itself from the butt, moves its hand above the right elbow, supporting the lock on the left arm. The right hand is then quitted. This is a very comfortable position for a soldier. To get out of the position and go back to shoulder, command is shoulder your arms, the right hand comes up, grabs the small. The left hand goes back, last 3 fingers under the butt, the thumb and forefinger before the swell. The right hand is quitted. Once again, support your arms. Shoulder your arms.
Let's talk a little bit about light dragoons. The 18th century, during the period of the American Revolution, there were 5 regiments of horse. These were primarily, including the household cavalry, what is termed as the line horse regiments. Added to this, there were 20 regiments of dragoons. These were termed heavy cavalry. Dragoons in the 18th century were evolved from the old dragoon of the previous century. He carried pistols, a carbine, 2-bladed weapons, a saber and a sword. He had a hat, a tricorn hat, carried his cartridge box on his spring belt, and was used primarily as fast infantry of the line, where he can maneuver from one end of the line to the other, dismount, and get into the line of battle, or to be joined with the other regiments of horse and attack in the line of battle with weight. In the 7 Years' War, in the late 1750s, there was another type of cavalry to show its face on the mark of Europe. It was the irregular cavalry, the Cossack, the Hussar, the Janissary. These were undisciplined horse troops, and they were carried in the regiments of the line in the European quarters. These lightly equipped, ill-disciplined troops became very effective against the formal, immovable sometimes, and certainly difficult to control horse regiments of the line. To maneuver an entire brigade of horses from one end of a theater to another involved baggage trains, castementation changes, and a whole host of impedimenta. So, His Majesty was graciously pleased to, in the late 1750s and 60s, appoint 5 regiments to be determined light dragoon from the heavy establishment. These men were drawn from these regiments because they were smaller, more nimble, better riders. They were equipped on lighter horses, smaller horses. They had a lighter saddle. They carried a sword that was slightly larger than either the saber or the sword of the heavy dragoon. Carried a carbine, a belly box, not a cartridge box, and he had a helmet, which for the time was the most lavish headdress of the army. In 1776, added to these 5 regiments of dragoons, light dragoons, determined light by His Majesty, there was added the 8th regiment from the heavies, and then in 1778, the 14th regiment of light dragoons was established from the heavies. And then from 1780 to 1783, an additional 5 regiments. So during the time of the American Revolution, there were about 12 regiments of light dragoons established. And the war in America, more than ever, firmed up the position of the light dragoon. He would act as a hussar was on the continent. He was the eyes of the army. They would forage out far afield on the flanks and to the front of the army, seeking the enemy, seeking his disposition, his strength, the composition of troops. He would report back to his commander. He would also, if he could, engage similar light troops used by the enemy. Hussars were the complement of the light dragoon. The light dragoon more and more found his way out of the line of battle. Although also trained to fight on foot, he would not do so unless he was pressed, either to buy time or because he could engage an enemy where he could not put his horse, which was seldom. He learned to sleep in the saddle and to act like a gadfly on the enemy. Not always used in the line of battle with the heavies and the horse regiments, they would stay on the flanks, waiting to sweep in to holes made by the heavies, or to sweep behind the enemy, taking his baggage train, sweeping behind his ammunition train, cutting off the supplies, and doing as much damage as he could. The light dragoon in the 18th century was complementary to the light infantry and the rifle brigade of the foot troops, established during the 7 Years' War as the technology and the ingenuity of the enemy required a complementary force to deal with them. You are in the 17th Light Dragoons. It was one of the first of the 5 regiments appointed by His Majesty. The 12th, the 15th, the 16th, the 17th, and the 18th were the first of the regiments pulled from the heavies to become light. Their badge is distinctive, and they are one of the oldest. And when the peace was signed, they were not disbanded with the new corps. They were retained with 3 other regiments to make the cadre of the Light Force a permanent part of the 18th century Army of England. As time went on, the Hussar did find a place in the English establishment. But that's another story. Thank you.
Three-day furlough before going into battle. We would like to show you this little hygiene play.
Goodbye. I hope you had a good time.
I did. I had a good time. Oh, what's this sore on my lip? I better see the doctor. Doc, I have this sore on my lip.
You have a social disease, my friend.
Oh, my God.
If you do not treat it, you will go blind or insane.